Special correspondent Salvador Perez took over the mic, although actually today he just kind of took over the show with Emilio Bonifacio.
What does that mean? How you explain that?
Lo viste is like in English, like you see it, so I do it every time. Everything started in Miami 2011 when I have my hidden street. Every time I got a base hit, so I do it lo viste, like that's what I mean, like do you see it? So every time you do something good.
Oh, what about when you hit a homer? How you do in the dugout?
No, I use shake hand to everybody. So.
Okay.
Joe looked like he wanted to get in there.
Yeah, no, I was trying to get in and say something to Salvi, who had taken over the show, and he just turned it around and started interviewing me, kind of Jeremy Guthrie style. You know, I've said it before, guys, that none of this is ever planned with Salvi. It just started one day with him saying, "Give me the microphone." We've tried at times to plan it and say, "Hey, Salvi, can you go and get so-and-so today?" But his schedule's busy, so you can never count on it. So it just happens when he wants it to happen. Today we requested him as a guest on the show. He was supposed to come on in our third segment, which should have been about 6:40. He showed up at 6:30 with Emilio Bonifacio. And so the show just started. We're showing a shot of the skyline in Chicago, and I could hear Salvi sitting next to me saying, "Oh, Chicago!" And it's all right. Let's just roll with it and go. And so there's Salvi, and he basically, remember, guys, he's learning the English language, and he pretty much just took over that segment. Interviewed Emilio, asked my thoughts on things, and then I look at him. See, now that's Salvi right there. And then I took a moment to get up and photobomb him in the middle of that, because that's what he does to me every single day when I'm live on the air. So we had a good time, and you know, everybody's down after last night, but I think this is extremely reflective of the way they are every single day at the ballpark, and there's usually a good chance that Salvi is in the middle of all of it.
1-2 on Alex. You know, that's another subtle example of his leadership, in that he has come so far with his English because he's not afraid to try things like that. I mean, Joel, you've been doing this a long time. How many players from another country who haven't been here that long? I mean, we're not talking about a 10-year veteran here. I mean, this is Sal's third season in the big leagues, and yet he wants the microphone, and he is not afraid to try the language. You know, we got two Spanish-speaking guys talking English to each other.
Right, and then in the middle of it, he's telling me he wants to take my job, which I know is safe for as long as his baseball career is going, because as I told him, you're the best catcher in the American League. But I've never been around anyone like that. Ryan, I've always, and I know you've had this from your days of interviewing, heard from people that say, well, why do you interview this guy? You can't understand him. And my feeling is, if they're willing to do it, it's the way they get better. And you know, there are a lot of guys that shy away from the interviews because, quite honestly, they don't want to say the wrong thing, and they don't want to be misunderstood, and it's embarrassing. And I think I'd be that way, and I know Hud could talk to that, having been over in Japan and in French speaking part of Canada up in Montreal, and Salvi just doesn't have that. And you know, early on he had a little bit of that. He would always say to me, just easy questions, tell me what you're going to say. And now, you know, he said something to me, I don't even remember if it was in the middle of the show or it was right before we went on. He said, how's my English? And I just walked by Alex there. He said, how's my English? And I said, it's getting better every day. And he said, just like the Royals, just trying to improve every single day. And I really think that part of it is these interviews that he's doing, which were all his idea. And it really brings him close to his teammates, whether they speak English, whether they speak Spanish. And I think mostly what it does is it shows that huge, gigantic personality that he has.
Yeah, I've never seen a player like that either. And whenever I listen to all your shows before games.
That should land on the roof, and it does.
And whenever he grabs the mic, I make sure to pay attention and listen, because I just laugh. I laugh because I understand his humor, his fun. He wants to have fun, and how his teammates respond to him, which is fun, especially Hosmer's yesterday. Eric's was great.
Yeah, Eric's was great, and they were fighting over the microphone. I don't know if and we may or may not have the time, if we can get any more of the video from that interview. We don't necessarily need to hear it. And you just see the way he's messing around out there. I mean, he just has this ability, and you guys know this. I mean, look, he has this ability to take over any conversation wherever he is at. And by the way, I almost look scared there. He's a big dude.
Well, look at how big his hand was. That's his glove hand.
For a guy that, as you said, didn't speak very much English a few years ago, think he looks a little comfortable there?
Very comfortable.
And, you know, he also knows that he's the bus driver, basically.
Yeah.
He knows he's a star. And he
embraces it.
He does. He does. And
in an unselfish way.
I agree with that 100%, Ryan. And he'll be a leader in the future.
Will be.
I mean, he already is now, but I'm just saying, this is his first full season as a catcher. He was hurt last year. I think that you know, that's where your leaders come from. Guys that grind it out every day.
I'll tell you who the two leaders are on this team right now, having spent the year and talking to people. And, you know, a lot of this we obviously don't see. We're not in the clubhouse in the key situations. We went in and we've known that James Shields is the leader, but he's a pitcher. He goes once every 5 days. Huge influence, as much as any pitcher that I've ever seen. But as far as everyday guys go, to me, it's Salvador Perez and it's Eric Hosmer, along with Alex Gordon in a quiet way. Here's a little bit more of Salvador from, I guess we'd say, his interview. No, okay. Why? Nobody cares how I feel.
Why no? You're part of the team. You're part of the. We family in here, Joe.
Hey, stick with the microphones here because it's getting a little confusing. Audio in the truck. No idea what this is supposed to be an interview of Salvador interviewing Bonifacio, but quite honestly, wherever it goes, it goes.
I just want to tell George, yeah, I want to be like him. And, you know, what do you think about that, Joe?
Really?
Listen, you're not taking my job because you're the best catcher in the American League. There's no time for that.
What about after 25 years? What do you think about that after 25 years?
I'll be even older, so it's all yours. Let's talk baseball.
Okay.
Talk with Emilio about some baseball.
Hi, Emilio. So how you feel after the trade? You know, you start with the season with Blue Jay, and you get traded with Kansas City. You know, what you like?
So there you go, and you know there's some gestures that, well, he's still a baseball player. Hey, but this is why we love Salvador Perez.
Proving once again,
you can't have fun at the old ballpark. There he is, Salvador Perez. I was trying to take a picture of him while this was going on.